The 1960s is often considered the golden age of Daikaiju filmmaking in Japan, and Toho, the studio behind the Godzilla films, among many others, was reigning king of the genre. Having already successfully stepped into the ring with Gamera in 1965, rival studio Dai was looking to continue making their own original films, in this case 3, all filmed around the same time with different directors. The first, directed by Kimiyoshi Yasuda and simply called Daimajin, hit Japanese theaters in early 1966, a film that is as much a period drama as it is a monster movie, and is thus one of the most unique and impressive epics of its time. A remote village in feudal Japan is thrown into chaos when a coup attempt, led by the treacherous Samanosuke, leaves their lord dead, forcing his children, under the protection of samurai Kogenta, to flee to the nearby mountains, home to their ancient mountain god. There they reside in hiding for 10 years, waiting for the right time to reclaim their village, which is suffering under Samanosuke's tyrannical rule. As each attempt fails, and the odds of survival grow increasingly slim, they turn to the Daimajin for help, pleading for him to punish the usurpers for their sins against mankind. Daimajin is a film that its quality may sneak up on you if you go in knowing absolutely nothing. Those expecting a standard kaiju flick will instead be thrust into a compelling world of brutal feudal politics and angry ancient deities. Less a monster movie and more of a dark, foreboding fairy tale, the film draws you in with an effective atmospheric opening that sets up a classic battle between good and evil that is surprisingly bleak without being explicit. The film tells a compelling story of faith in overcoming impossible odds that culminates in breathtaking spectacle and one of the most impressive movie monsters ever committed to screen. Indeed, in terms of both execution and design, Daimajin is a marvel of a creation. Unlike the majority of monsters, which tended to be massive otherworldly creatures, he is distinctly anthropomorphic, allowing you to connect on a more visceral human level. You can feel the anger through his eyes, which, contrasted with the motionless face, makes him incredibly intimidating. You get the feeling that he doesn't care for anyone in particular, not even the heroes he was summoned to save, adding layers of nuance to a character without ever having him speak a word. All this is enhanced by the use of suitmation, the limitations of which are actually enhanced by the stone statuesque design, making any stiff, awkward, or slow movements feel believable and natural. It is a perfect example of art and technique working together to create something truly exceptional. Despite his massive presence, though, Daimajin never upstages the core human cast, and that's because he is not the focus. He doesn't appear until the final 20 minutes, up until which the film is entirely focused on its small cast of human characters, and their struggles against evil. Yoshihiko Aoyama and Miwa Takada play Tadafumi and Kozasa Hanabusa, the last remaining members of a royal family waiting to reclaim their home from the brutal warlord Samanosuke, played by Ryutaro Gomi. His character is utterly despicable, and thus makes for a great villain to root against. Jun Fujimaki plays Kogenta, a samurai who saves and protects the prince and princess, along with his aunt Shinobu, a priestess who knows the wrath of Daimajin better than anyone. And finally there's Takebo, a young boy who's experienced firsthand the barbarism Samanosuke has wrought on the village. Those weary of featuring a child so prominently have no fear. There is no kiddie fair to be found. This is a serious, dramatic film, and every actor, even the children, give good performances that keep it grounded and believable, making it easy to sympathize with the heroes, and even easier to loathe the villains. Perhaps the true star of Daimajin is the overall presentation. The direction by Kimiyoshi Yasuda is slow and thoughtful, and rewards you for your patience with a finale that satisfies on all fronts. This wouldn't be possible were it not for the special effects by Yoshiyuki Kuroda. Through an expert combination of matte paintings, rear projection, highly detailed sets, and miniatures, the world is brought to life in such a way that transcends the limitations of its time. Sure, not everything is seamless, but it is consistent, and never draws attention to itself or sucks you out of the world. Contributing to this effect is the score by Akira Ifukube. While not as instantly iconic as his work in other films, his score here is appropriately dark and foreboding, simple in a way that reflects the simple tale of good and evil being told. Daimajin is a must-see for anyone who enjoys being sucked into a good yet simple story set in a fantastical yet relatable world. At its core, the film deals with themes of faith in the face of hopelessness, and does so in ways that are surprisingly dark and brutal. The human villains are the real monsters here, always a step ahead of the heroes, creating an ever-building sense of doom that comes crashing down when the titular monster enters the film like the force of God itself, relentless and unstoppable. As entertaining as it is evocative, Daimajin is more than just a kaiju flick. It is a fantasy as epic as it is intimate, a wonderfully realized merging of many genres that, despite the passage of time, is still likely to stir feelings of awe in you to this very day. For more reviews and opinions on all things kaiju, subscribe and stay tuned to Up From the Depths.